server side only. Client side is not completely required part. Second is this is my server, so I'm going to start my server, but I'm connected to VMnet 1, right? So guys, if you are doing a practical, the practical is belongs to DHCP practical. If you are doing a DHCP practical, not Active Directory practical, DHCP practical. If in case you are doing a DHCP practical, okay, on your adapter, you are connected to VMnet 1. So go to VMnet 1 details. See, it is DHCP enabled. Currently it is API address because of my server is down. Okay, now only I started. Once my DHCP service is up, it may get a new IP address. So you want to try DHCP output. You can use your physical machine adapter also. VMnet 1. Your virtual machine is connected to. This is a virtual machine. This connected to VMnet 1. Okay, and you have a DHCP service. And of course, yesterday I showed how to disable DHCP for VMware DHCP server, VMware workstation, DHCP kind of stuff. So you are connected to VMnet 1. VMnet 1 also a virtual adapter. VMnet 1 also a virtual adapter is there. You can see a virtual adapter here. Okay, you can go to this and also will get an IP address. If you are not getting an IP address to it, what to do? Disable it, then enable it. But it is, we have to wait till the server is up, and I will show you how DHCP thing is works. So literally, you don't require to test it. Two machines are not required. Two machines are not required. The first thing. So if you put a 1 GB for a Windows server, for 4 GB people, only 1 GB is enough. Okay, Active Directory require two machines, but DHCP DNS don't require two machines. And some practicals are there that require two machines. It's okay if you are unable to do it, then what you can able to do it, right? Currently, if you are upgrade your RAM, that is then good. If it is not there, at least try to understand the concept. Okay, so what are the things you learn in the practicals? Also very important. And what are the things you practice is important. Sometimes it is won't happen. So what you can able to do right now? Today everything is slow. I'm still thinking. I will show you that how to do it practical. Then I will switch to DNS. Here is 13. Yeah, so this is, if you see here, it's a shutdown unexpectedly. Why you shut down? It is asking. You can give some comment, or just you can cancel it also, no problem. But in generally, you have to tell what is it. I didn't remember when I posted last questions. Okay, I will search it and I will post it. Okay, so server is started. Service is started or not, we are not yet known, because it will be open in the left side. What are the roles you installed? Okay, so DHCP, DNS kind of stuff. Okay, so meanwhile, again I'm checking. I got this one only, so we have to wait. Yeah. So DHCPs, still we don't know. So this is we can see from the events, warning, started, not started kind of stuff, services running. Okay, or you can go to tools, open DHCP, and also you can find it from there. So that will open. Meanwhile, still it is showing a API address. What to do, guys? What to do?
Sir, we need to change the IP address to automatic, sir.
Yeah, it should be in a automatic, right? So it is in automatic only already, as because of it is showing, because it is
Once
showing
disable and enable.
DHCP enabled. Okay, yes. So it is showing, when it is showing DHCP enabled means all it is DHCP client only. If it is showing 169.254 means it is API address. So you are not getting IP from DHCP server. So first disable it and enable it, or you can use ipconfig space /release. But if I use that one, there is a problem. It will reset all of my adapter, including my network. Yes, I got the IP address. See, DHCP enabled. Yes, I got IP address 172.16.0.16. So my DHCP server, my DNS server, my lease duration 8 minutes, 24:32. Okay, so this is, you can able to perform a practical without having a separate client machine for you for a DNS server. So I'm going to my DHCP, DNS and DHCP server. So click on address pool, address list. See, it is assigned. This is for my computer, it is assigned. And also you can practice reservation if you want it. So what to do? Go to this adapter again, details, note down this MAC address, okay, and go to reservation, right click new reservation, give the MAC address there and put some IP address, reservation name, some name, whatever it is, give the name. Then automatically the name will be shows here, like IP address and name kind of stuff shows here. And what to do? Disable, enable, or wait for the next renew period. Automatically it will update. So these two practicals you can do it. So like, yeah, I close that one, no problem. Without opening client. Okay. But server client mode is always good thing. Okay. Guys, always keep in virtual machine or physical machine, whatsoever it is. Thing is, in your physical machine, you should not add your physical machine to domain. Of course, you can't do it because of most of our systems are home systems. Okay, Windows 10 Home cannot add it to home editions, cannot add it to domains. Okay, we can't add it to your domains anyway. But some computers are pro or enterprise or editions also there. Don't add your Windows 10 physical laptop machine to domain. Which is domain control is a virtual machine. So don't do like that. So first thing. Okay. For these practicals are no problem. These practicals require only network connection. Okay. Okay. So understand the virtual networking concept. So it is very easy. Okay. Guys, your doubt is clear. Now the concept is DNS. What is DNS? Domain name. Domain name system. What is the port number for DNS? 53. Okay. So next time when I ask, so don't worry guys, not only I never fix to the topic. When I'm teaching one topic, I will ask other topic questions also. Okay. So DNS, domain name system, port number is 53. What is this DNS? Simply say it maps name to IP address. Okay. So the point is here, all network communication to IP address only. Okay, without IP address you can't able to communicate. Without IP address you can't able to communicate. All communications, all network communications through IP address only. You have to address, you have to communicate, you have to ping, you have to send HTTP request or a FTP request or anything by IP address only. You may get a doubt, sir, you have done a ping www.google.com. So you are not giving an IP address. You are not giving any IP address. Then how you can able to communicate? You are not using IP address here. Just we are using names. Google.com, Facebook.com, w3schools.com, YouTube.com. So we are using in names, but we are not using IP address to communicate. Okay. So why? This is the thing. Okay. So I'm communicating to my w3schools.com. Okay. YouTube.com. Facebook.com, Instagram.com, or anything. So I'm communicating with the names, but each one has a IP address. Okay. Who will give this IP address? Each domain or each domain web server. Each web server has a IP address. But I'm not trying with the IP address. I'm trying with the name only. Who is giving this IP address? Who is giving the IP address? Is giving IP address to you? DNS server. DNS server giving IP address to you. Okay. So who is your local DNS server? Your local DNS server is this one. So this is your local DNS server. Okay, that of hierarchical structure is there. That is, we'll see later, but this is currently my local DNS server. Okay, who is giving IP addresses? DNS server is giving an IP address. Here is for an explanation purpose, guys. So mobile phone contact. Mobile contact list is there. Okay, so here it is a point. All communication, mobile communication, telephone communication, telephone. Some people say not it is telephone, it is a mobile phone or cellular phone. So whatsoever it is, anything telephone communications through what? Through telephone or mobile number only, right? Without a telephone number or a mobile number, can you able to make a call? You don't know mobile number. Just telephone communication. I'm not talking about a WhatsApp or a Facebook kind of stuff. I'm talking in a, you dial a number and you will call the people, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
But it is very difficult.
To communicate without the
Remember.
number.
Remember numbers, right? Lot of numbers are there. I can remember. I have two numbers. I have two mobile numbers. I can remember only one number. Other number also I still have a little confusion in that one. Okay, like my father, my mother phone number is there, my sister phone number. Few phone numbers I can able to remember. First phone numbers maybe I will hardly try to remember. But second phone numbers very difficult. Okay, maximum 3-4 phone numbers we can remember. But how many friends we have, how many relatives we are having. So earlier days we write in a notebook. So if in case mobile is missing, also you can able to dial from it. Okay, it is very difficult to remember numbers. Then what we are doing? We create a its numbers are difficult to remember. So what we do? We create a contact list like a name and phone number. We create a list. So now you call to name, okay, your contact list dials to phone number automatically. You are trying to communicate. You are trying to communicate to someone. I want to communicate it to Arun, for example. Okay, so I want to call to Arun or maybe Manoj. I want to call. So I want to make a call, right? So I have a phone number, but I didn't remember his phone number. I saved a number like a Manoj batch 15. And this is the phone number. So then when I want to make a call, so what is to open CTS batch 15 Manoj. So dial. Then what happened? Automatically mobile number will be displayed and mobile number will go to communicate. With mobile number only I'm communicating, but I open the name. So name and number. So this is the example or explanation for a DNS name system. You know, in 1 or 2 interviews, they ask this thing also. Explain DNS with a mobile contact list. Because nowadays that is the an example because a lot of people are easily understand. That's why we are telling this kind of easy example. Okay, guys, understand mobile contact, name to IP address kind of stuff. I'm sorry, name to phone number concept.
Yes.
Okay, so DNS server do same thing. It maps name to IP address. Okay, so when you are communicating to the name, so you'll get a IP address. Who will give this IP address is DNS server. DNS server. So here is simply it is when you put a www.google.com, for example, in web browser. When you put a www.google.com in web browser, okay, request. Again, point is, okay, a name, right? So it is name, not a IP address. So we don't know IP address of google.com, not just google.com, www.google.com. There are a lot of google.coms are there. Okay, google.com. We don't know. So the request for IP address request for IP address to DNS server. So DNS server returns IP address of www.google.com to client. Then client can communicate to google.com with IP address. Okay. Earlier browsers, when you open any website, okay, like a google.com kind of stuff or anything, okay. So like I open a www.school.com. When it is open, it shows IP address initially in a bottom. Now it is not showing, so no need to worry about it. Okay.
So,
So
excuse me, sir.
yeah, tell me.
Sir, can we show in the picture form, sir, how the communication will be done when we are going to be search www.google.com?
I will show that one story is there. I will tell that one anyway. Okay.
Yes, just
Try
simple.
to get. Okay. So just to show you, first I don't know what is a google.com IP address. I'm trying to communicate. What are the protocol it is? I'm trying to communicate. So the I don't know IP address, automatically request sent to DNS server, because in my system DNS server, where is DNS server request thing is there. Okay. So request go to DNS server. DNS returns IP address. So then I got IP address first. Then only I'm communicating to IP address. I got a reply from IP address only. Okay. So names are for just easy to remember. IP address are actually you are communicating. Okay. So this is about your basic point of DNS. Here it is. One explanation is there, but explanation go here. Actually, there is a big story is also there. I want to cut the story. Very simple. Okay, this is my client computer C1 or anything like a C1. I put a put a question like a technet.microsoft.com, doc.microsoft.com, something like that. Okay, so in my web browser, I put a technet.microsoft.com example. Okay, So I don't know IP address of this technet.microsoft.com. So initially, if I open earlier, so in a browser, in a browser cache, it search in a browser cache here cookies like a, is it a IP address of technet.microsoft is available. Next, it search in a another file called /etc host file. In Windows, it is location is c/windows system 32 /drivers /etc/host file. Okay, it is a static file. It is a static file where we can manually enter host files. You want to see that one? So it is very simple. c/windows /system 32 /drivers etc/host file. Okay, so I'm going to etc. So that's the folder it will open. See, this is the host file. Okay, if you open with a notepad, okay, because there is no file extension kind of stuff. Okay. And also you can open services, protocols, network kind of stuff. So then also you can see the protocols, port numbers, how they will map kind of stuff. You can able to see. See this, it contains IP address and names like this. I have a Linux computers are there that time. Okay, so I use this manual mapping of servers. Manually I put these things. This is automatically came because of some other services by application to not to go to some request kind of stuff. But you can see here it is manually. You can able to fix the IP address without DNS. You want to send a request with a name. You want to communicate with a name. You can put a IP address and your server name or a name of the remote machine. So you put a name, you'll get an IP address from this list. It is a static entry. It is a static entry of a DNS. Name and IP address. So in Linux, this is the location. In Windows, second location. In generally web browser. Okay. So it will search here. If it is not available in a web browser or a host file, then it will go to request will go to your local DNS server. In generally, our local DNS servers are nothing but our routers. So your router don't have any data. Okay, it search in a local DNS server. Search in a local DNS server. In a local DNS server, usually no data. So obviously, it send a request to local DNS server where I want IP address of technet.microsoft.com. What it is asking? technet.microsoft.com IP address. And local DNS server also don't know. Then it forward the request to the forwarder, which is maintained by in generally. I'm talking in our regular internet DNS. Okay, not a organization DNS. Okay, so in ISP maintaining DNS servers in their places. which is they're actually maintain forwarder. Actually, they are maintaining forwarders. Okay, what is this forwarders? What is this forwarders? Forwarders contains root hint information. Forwarders contains root hint information. So what is this root hint again? So root hint. Root hints are nothing but root servers. Okay, so A, B, C, like that. Like this. The root hints are names are like this. Root hint. It means there is almost 13 or 16 root hints are there. So now anything is increased or root hint. Okay, so what is root hints are list of DNS servers on the internet that your DNS server can use solve the queries of the name that does not know. Okay, now solve the parliament. Okay, a big explanation. Okay, you can try also what are the root hint DNS servers are located. So here it is. These are the names like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Q. Like that it will be there. As you know, it is a totally 13. Okay, there is a 13 DNS servers are there from A to Z, like this A, B, C, D. These are all root hint DNS servers only. They will sync each other. They will sync each other. This is the data centers. Okay, so these are maintained by ICANN. Maintained by ICANN. Okay, ICANN means Internet name, numbering and naming authority kind of stuff like that. So these are the root hint. It means server names are A, B, C kind of stuff. Their IP addresses available in the because of space is not there. I'm not writing entire list, but A, B, C, D, F, G, H, C kind of stuff. So totally 13 root DNS servers are there. 13 root DNS servers are there. Okay, so root DNS servers are there. Okay, so look at like this. When you look at this one, put a dot here, a small dot after this one, like a reverse part. Dot represent root. Okay, so what it will do, maybe you don't get easily, but no problem, guys. So don't worry about sir, what is this, what is that one. Okay, so don't worry about that one. So very simple it is. Dot is a root, represent root DNS server. So we'll communicate to a root DNS server, which is near to me. I will communicate a root DNS server. So what is a DNS server? DNS server contains a records. What is a DNS server? DNS server contains records, right? DNS server contains records. So we contact root DNS server for a record purpose. What records? We'll see. Guys, do you understand up to now?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So from our client, I put a technet.microsoft.com request go to local DNS server, means our router, our DNS servers locally, and then it is forward to our ISP provider maintaining forwarders. In these forwarders, IP addresses of root DNS servers. It contains record. The record is nothing but a IP addresses of root DNS server. So which is nearest or which is available now? So automatically it forward the request to root DNS server for asking where is .com address. Okay, it is asking where is .com IP address. So what is this root DNS server contains top level domains like a .com, .org, .net. Okay, anything. The extension is .in. Okay, like when you go to GoDaddy.com kind of stuff, go to GoDaddy, Magic Bricks or File Bricks kind of stuff it is. So if you go to create a website, for example, because website is different, domain is different. Domain or website, it is a domain name. The name must be registered as per your requirement. So you can use a domain name for hosting a websites or for a mailing communications also. You guys understand? You can use a domain for a Active Directory purpose or a hosting a website purpose or a mail communication purpose. That is just a domain. That's it. This is URL. This is called a URL. This is a domain. So for example, I want to launch Latif tech.com. So I have to search. May I have this kind of stuff? Is someone is already purchased it and saved in with his name, latiftex.com. Great alternative. Tex. So it is for first year 499 500 rupees only, but after first year completed they will charge you. Okay, so it may be 1000. So for domain name purpose only. Can you see? It is different .coms are there. If you don't want a .com or like that, so then also you can search different things also. Yeah, this is only .coms. Why only .coms? Um, yeah, it's bigrocks.in. You can go to cheap names. Like you can get a less price domain names also. Usually people who are maintaining domain names, they'll every year they will keep changing from one dealer to another dealer kind of stuff. Okay, .com is for 1 year like kind of stuff. So I'll put a, yeah, it is my such kind of stuff. So big rocks, you can see .com, .in is available. Both are available here. More suggestions. Usually .com means commercial website. .com means commercial websites. .in represent, it is a commercial website, Indian website, like a Indian related things. what it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you can see .co, .net, .ai, .org, .com, .io, .tk, .dev, .app, .nc, .website, like this. See, this is very cheaper for a renewal. Okay, like this. I don't know per year or per price, we don't know, but still it is good to see like this kind of stuff. .io, .ca, .me, .de, .website. Okay, so it is costly. Inc. .com is also cheap. Why no freedom, privacy, domain, what is TDL, registering, kind of stuff. Okay, so thing is top level domain. Okay, like a .in, a .website, .xyz. Okay, so .tk, like this. There is a top level domain list is there. These are also .com is a DNS server, .org is a DNS server, .net is a DNS server. Their DNS servers IP addresses available in the root domains, root DNS servers. Root DNS servers. What is the information is available? Top level domains only. Top level domains only. Okay. So what I want? .com IP address. What to whom I am asking? Some root DNS server. For example, it is root DNS server B. I'm asking because it's maybe it is a nearest one to me. I thought. Then I'll get an IP address of .com. I'll get a IP address of a .com IP address. So what I will do? So instead of that one, simply I will write. I'll get IP address of .com. Guys, understand? .com, .org, .net, .in. There are several top level domains are there. Top level domains are there. Top level domains. Sorry, top level DNS servers. Are domains are a DNS servers. So both are same. Okay, so here it is. Okay, their server .com, .org, .net servers IP addresses available in a .root. IP addresses are available. Okay, so what we want? .com. I got a .com IP address. I got a .com IP address to the forwarder. Now forwarder is trying to reach .com. So now I got an IP address of .com server. Now I went there and I'm asking, I want a IP address of Microsoft.com. I want a IP address of Microsoft.com DNS server. Okay. Any separate DNS server is there, and then it is asking, this is my .com server. The .com server, I am searching for a Microsoft.com server IP address. It contains so many things like a Google.com IP address. Okay, it maintain. That's how we have to pay amount for maintaining IP address and name registration. Okay, not a IP address, only for name purpose only. Name purpose only we are paying. Okay, name purpose only we are paying, not a web space or anything. Just for a name only we are paying. Okay, ms.com, microsoft.com, google.com, facebook.com, fb.com, and their IP address Okay, facebook.com, okay, like that. So here it's whatsapp.com. Tell me some other name. Savantis.com, their IP address. Okay, so you can find an IP address of your any .com, means Microsoft.com, Google.com kind of stuff in the .com server. Similarly for .org server, .in servers, like that. So now I got a IP address of Microsoft.com. So now finally I got a Microsoft.com. That's okay.
So,
Next.
sir, for every .com there is a different server, no, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
For .org, different server, .com, different server, .in, different server. All servers are maintained by their different type of organizations. The mother organization is like a, in the agreement with the IANA ICANN only, regional wise. So like I can maintain my DNS server, .com server I maintain. Like I can start something like .latif DNS server. Okay, so you want to create your own website like manoj.latif. Okay, or a technical.latif. Like a .latif become top level domain now. So then that should be updated in root domain, and I have to maintain all .latif kind of website names and their IP addresses into my server. So I need that much of big infrastructure for that one. Okay. Every usually they have their own records because of Microsoft.com having so many kind of websites, or maybe links, video links, so many things are there, no? Like a devoc.microsoft.com, download.microsoft.com, mva.microsoft.com. MVA means Microsoft Virtual Academy. Freely can learn from the Microsoft. That is a Microsoft Virtual Academy. Channel9.microsoft.com. Okay. Diversity.microsoft.com, Windows.microsoft.com, Office 365, Office.com, not Office 365, Office.com. It belongs to Office 365, Azure. Okay, so that is also Microsoft. Okay, so like that, what we need, technical.microsoft.com. So finally, you reach technical.microsoft.com. Okay, so you're asking, so give me the IP address of technical.microsoft.com IP address. And of course, it contains an IP address of several things. One of the thing is technical.microsoft.com IP address. So if it is for just for example only, it's maintaining IP address of technical.microsoft.com, docs.microsoft.com. Okay, maybe mva.microsoft.com, maybe download.microsoft.com. Like IP address of all these things, IP address is available. Okay, now it will return the IP address of technical.microsoft.com IP address. Okay, now the forwarder finally got a IP address of technical.microsoft.com. So finally, forwarder got a IP address of technical.microsoft.com. Then what it will do? It returns the IP address to local DNS server. And local DNS server give you IP address of technical.microsoft.com. Next. what will be happen next? You can communicate to technical.microsoft.com server directly with the IP address.
Yes.
Directly with the IP address. Okay, so this is the total hierarchical explanation, guys. What is the root hints? Root hints are nothing but a list of root DNS servers and their IP addresses. Totally 13 root DNS servers are there in this world. Maybe they have a means multiple ABCD kind of stuff are there, but totally the names are a 13 only. Okay, so in what is the content of root DNS servers is top level domains or a top level. The name is top level domain only. Name is top level domain only. Okay, domains DNS server IP address means .com IP address, .org DNS .org IP address, .net IP address, like that. Their servers IP address in the root DNS server. Okay, so once you got a .com IP address, so contact .com for your domain name. Okay, so Microsoft.com, Google.com, Facebook.com, like those are having a Latif.com, LatifText.com, LatifTechnology.com, LatifTechnotes.com. Okay, so any .com IP address you can find in a .com server. So once you got a IP address of .com, then communicate directly to Microsoft.com. Okay, ask Microsoft.com about your specific subdomain name or a host name based on the host name IP address. Once you got an IP address of the particular host or a subdomain like that, so finally you got an IP address, then forwarder return that IP address to local DNS server. Local DNS server give the IP address to you. Now you know the IP address of technet.microsoft.com, then you can communicate with the technet.microsoft.com with the IP address like this. Once you got an IP address, so then you will communicate with the currently this technet.microsoft.com is there or not, I don't know. Because of I think technet.microsoft.com is replaced with a doc.microsoft.com. Yeah, very good. Can you see different name for this one? And I got a IP address. So I'm communicating from here to there with a IP address only. From there to here also IP address only. But it is showing different name. I will tell why I'm getting different name also. Yeah, you will tell once I told the story. Okay, this is the story of how network is communicating. DNS is works. So once I will show you few things. DNS part 1. So this is DNS namespace. This is a dot, which is root domain, top level domains. Under top level domain, second level domain is there. South is a subdomain. Sales is another domain inside, and server 1 is actually host. FQDN, fully qualified domain name. Fully qualified domain name is server1.sales.south.contoso.com. Very big name, right? So I given a very simple name. This is big name. So server 1 is actually your host. I'm searching for a IP address of server 1 in this FQDN name. So first of all, I will reach root domain, find out where is the .com IP address, contact.com, find out contoso.com. In the contoso.com, find out where is the south, and in that south, where is the sales. Finally, find under sales server 1 IP address, and then communicate with the server 1 IP address. There is a lot of information is like this is also same explanation only. queries are there. So this is queries are recursive query, iterative query, authoritative response, non-authoritative response is also there. So we can also, I will explain those things. Okay, records explain. I will explain. Okay, this is a forwarder explanation, guys. This is another picture, which is the picture which is I've written like this. It is the same kind of stuff if you go to this picture also. Okay, the picture is very simple, like if I can able to write on it, and then also it is very good for me. Okay, yeah, it is difficult to write. The previous name means when Windows 10 is launched, at that time it is everything is directly you can able to write without doing all this kind of stuff. But it is also okay, at least one some facilities there. Guys, look at here. Here it is an example of mail1.contoso.com IP address. So the client is requesting to local DNS server, I want an IP address of mail1.contoso.com. The request is forwarded to forwarder. Forwarder open the root hints and contact root hint server, root DNS server, and forwarder is asking, I want .com IP address. I want a .com IP address. So root hint give the IP address of .com IP address. Okay. So forwarder again contact .com. I want a IP address of contoso.com server. Okay. Then .com returns IP address of contoso.com IP address. Okay, return IP address of contoso.com. Next, that again I contact contoso.com asking for mail1.contoso.com IP address, and it return mail1.contoso.com IP address. So then DN forwarder give the IP address to the local DNS. Local DNS give me IP address. The point is here, I want to show you like this. The queries, look at here. Guys, here I am asking to my local DNS server is mail1.contoso.com. So that query we call it as a recursive query. Here also I am asking my DNS local DNS server technet.microsoft.com IP address. This is the query I am making. I am asking a complete question and I am getting complete response. I got a IP address of technet.microsoft.com. So this is we call it as a recursive query. Recursive query. What is recursive query? I'm asking technet.microsoft.com IP address. I got a IP address of a technet.microsoft.com. That is called a recursive query. If you look at this thing, these are parts of answers, not complete questions, not a complete answers. First of all, I'm asking .com. Next, I am asking contoso.com. Next, I'm asking mail1.contoso.com. Very simple. It is called a iterative query. Iterative query. Okay. Easily say, you want some information. Yeah, you are asking me, sir, when is the next drive? Don't ask me. I don't know. Okay, so ask Pani madam or Charan sir or anyone. Okay, so when is the next drive? I don't know. I'm asking. I send a message to Pani madam. Then Pani madam, when is the next drive? Madam also maybe when is the next drive? Okay, like that. Okay, so when is the batch will be created? When is this thing? Like queries I done. So not a complete query. Also small part of query. So that is a next date, when it is started, when it is ended, so when it is recruitment. So like a one by one question I'm asking. Okay, so I got a full information. Then I shared a full information to you. This is the next drive. So this is the classes date started. This is the end of the date. This is the fees, and this is the recruitment time. So like this. So you got a complete answer for your complete question. I am doing small questions, means each I contact every person one by one. So I find a certain part of answer and will combine and then I give it to you. So I do iterative query, you done recursive query. Okay, like that is called a very simple understanding of forwarder and recursive query and iterative query. Next one is authoritative response. What is authoritative response? You ask me a technical question, I give an answer, authoritative response. Okay. You ask some information, you wanted some information regarding the interview. You ask Pawni madam or Charan sir or me, authoritative response. You ask someone in your classmate or another batchmate. So they give an information, that is non-authorized response, non-authoritative response. Okay, you got information from, here is my picture, you got information from browser caches, or you got information from your local DNS server or host files, that is called a unauthorized response. You got information from the original server, that is called a authoritative response. These are all are very difficult to write. So see, so how to put this each and everything. It is everything is a box only, so I can't able to write it. Guys, understand this one or not? I'll share the this PPT. You can note down that information from here. Guys, understand how network will works? Understand or not? No, that's
Sir.
understand, not understand.
Yes, sir.
Or still confusion is there? Okay, there will be a confusion, so that's a guarantee part. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so this is how it is works. So you are getting an IP address not directly from any server. Okay, of course you will get a IP from direct servers also possible. That is also I will explain now only. Okay, look at here. Okay, this is I will modify so later. So then just look at this is I have another server which is I maintain in the ISP only. This is also ISP server. So this is a DNS cache server. Okay, DNS cache server. So what it is, this DNS cache server? Look at here. I use a different color for understanding. Okay, look at here. So I'm doing this query, right? So this entire query we are doing. So first of all, I have to go to root, then I have to go to .com, then I have to go to server, and finally found a IP address. What is this DNS cache will do? Okay, the cache will do is store that information. Store that information. Understand? Store the information means name and IP address store in the DNS cache. For example, I have a other client or a same client. I have other client or a same client is there. Is again requesting, is asking, it's a local DNS server. I want to communicate. I want a IP address of technet.microsoft.com. I want a IP address of technet.microsoft.com, and our local DNS immediately take it from DNS cache server and give it to you IP address. Yes, understand what is the DNS cache? So DNS cache server is a very simple one. Okay, like this. It works very simple way. Is whenever a client requests, then it is written. Finally, the client one got a IP address, but DNS cache server store that information for a certain period of time. Certain period of time only. Okay. Next, any other user or a computer or a client request for a same IP address, same name, a DNS cache immediately returns it. So what is the advantage of this one? It saves a lot of time for a querying entire place. You know, earlier days we got a lot of time taken, different geographical manner also there, right? Nowadays, very easy information, and that too local information we are getting very faster way. Why? Because of DNS cache servers. Okay, so 2 points also I covered. How internet DNS works and DNS cache. What is a DNS cache? When a client query a hostname or FQDN, send a hostname for IP address. Once query completed, DNS cache server store information sometime. Okay. If any client queries for same host or a name, okay, so DNS cache server returns IP address immediately. So that is DNS cache server. How the internet DNS will work? Client, if you people are not telling, like I understand not, that's why I'm telling, typing everything. The client query IP address for example .microsoft.com. So local DNS server search in records forward query to forwarder. Forwarder maintained by SP. We don't maintain that one. Forwarder is also a DNS server. Okay, forwarder is also a DNS server. Okay, so forwarder forwarder send query for .com server IP address to root DNS server. Root DNS server. So root DNS server return IP address of .com server. Again, forwarder queries for Microsoft.com to .com server. Okay, .com server returns address of Microsoft.com. Okay, then forwarder again query for technet.microsoft.com to Microsoft.com server, and Microsoft.com returns IP address. That's it. Next, again forwarder and IP address to local DNS server. Local DNS server send IP address to these many steps are there. Okay, so send to the client. Now client can communicate to technet.microsoft.com IP address. So there is a 13 root DNS servers are there maintained by ICANN and IANA. Okay, Internet Assign a number and authority. Okay, naming and numbering authorities. IANA, ICANN. Okay, there are putting. Next, Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I think these are the servers. Once like count it. 5, 10, 11. Now it is a 13. These are the root DNS servers names. Okay. Next. Top level domains are .com, .org, .net. Organization .org means organization. .net, that .education, like that it is there. So .education. .gov means government. .us, .ue, .au, like these are all countries only. Country wise kind of stuff. .tk, .website, like that. There is a lot of dots are there. Very important one is .com, commercial organizations, .net, .education kind of stuff. .streaming is also there. .streaming, .youtube kind of stuff is there, no? Like that. .streaming kind of stuff. .mobi, okay, like that also. The top level domains. Sub level domains are usually these things only. So you can see this is contaso.com, microsoft.com are a second level domains, not sub level domains. It is a second level domains. Example, second level domains are a microsoft.com, google.com, centos.org, okay, like this. These are all second level domains, and remaining is either subdomain or a host. Either it is having a subdomain or a host. Host means the host name, computer name, PC1, server 1. These are all host names are there. So this is the hierarchical structure of and the working of internet DNS server. Okay, and also I explained cache DNS server. Queries also there. So the queries, iterative query kind of stuff. If you want that part also I will put it. Am I disconnected or what?
No, sir.
No, sir. We're listening, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, no one is asking. Usually people are keep asking questions, right?
Yes, but no questions at all. We are getting.
So there's a two type of queries. It is thing is either like a completely understanding or completely not understanding situation is there. It means if you feel your understand means you are not understand. If you are not understand means maybe some part you are understanding. That's why you are confusing. Okay, that's a DNS. My favorite topic in the demos. When I go to any interviews, usually for any technical trainer interview kind of stuff, I choose first one of the topic in a Windows is DNS only. Windows are not, so it is a DNS is one of my favorite topic to give a demo because we can limit or control the time also. Okay, that is the thing. Guys, two type of queries are there. One is recursive query and iterative queries. Recursive query is like a recursive query means complete answers. Complete answers you will get a recursive query means full question, full answer. I want a technet.microsoft.com IP address. I got a technet.microsoft.com IP address. That is recursive query. Iterative query means first .com, Microsoft, finally technet.microsoft. That is a iterative query. Authoritative response is from the authorized DNS server. If you are getting a response from authorized DNS server, that is authoritative response. Non-authoritative means you got IP address from your caches, forwarders, or root hints. That is called a non-authoritative response. So in the DNS, two things are there to discuss. One is records. So another one is zones, and forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. Lookup zones, DNS zones, lookup zones, DNS zones, and records. These things are should be discussed. Secondary, this is a zone transfer kind of stuff. If possible, I will explain. Now we'll take small break. Okay. That is only for explanation purpose only, guys.